Okay, you might have seen the first part of the video, but if you haven't, I really hope I hope you enjoy this video. We go into a lot of different characters, and by the way, this is 5 dubs of Detective Conan, all the way, from the lost Detective Conan Singapore dub from Odex, all the way up to the latest dub from TMS and Bangzoom Entertainment. So buckle up because this is gonna be really good.
ああ、工藤とは西の服部、東の工藤と呼ばれた仲や。いつも比べられとったわ。これ。
あ、どうも。
そんな工藤が最近さっぱり音沙汰なしや。新聞にも顔を見せへんし、噂やと行方不明や。
Something that I really want to see in like the rest of the dubs for Harley Hartwell or Heiji Hattori is just if they capture his attitude, I feel like they're set. Like they'll be able to give this character justice.
Yeah, no question. Ryo Horikawa, I mean, what a legend,
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that he's, voicing the character and still voices the character.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. I can't imagine anybody else in Japanese doing the character,
For sure.
He's iconic.
Yep, that's me. I'm the Kudo of the East. They're always comparing me to Shuichi Kudo back home. And now my reputation's growing. Thanks. Nobody's heard from Shinichi recently, and there's nothing about him in the papers. According to the rumors, they say he's missing. And that's why I came out here, to look for Shinichi.
Yeah,
I do know who voices him here. I didn't.
Yeah.
I know I didn't tell you. This I know is Chuck Powers, because I remember asking Joe specifically, and it is Chuck Powers, 100%.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a good job too. I mean, with such a small cast, them doing so much is really phenomenal.
Yeah, so he's doing Mori in this episode, and he's doing Heiji, and I mean, they had the voices they had and worked with what they had. I think it was a good early performance for the character, and obviously you wish you could have seen more kind of down the road.
Yeah.
But then the Funimation version, we're gonna hear him, and yeah, for sure this is Chuck Powers. I know it is. Like I say, some of the other ones we're gonna see in the future, I'm not 100% sure, but I could guess pretty well. But I'll connect with Joe on those.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, this was obviously the OG English version of Hattori Heiji, and really, I mean, Chuck Powers, probably didn't know much about this character going into it, and kind of had to play it blind. So I think he made a good choice here with the attitude and on the delivery side, and I think overall this episode in general was actually very well done. If you ever get a chance to see it.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm known as the Great Western Detective, or the Kudo of the West, depending on who you're asking. And I'm always being compared to your friend. Here, drink up.
Thanks.
Oddly enough, no one's heard a peep out of Kudo for some time now. I haven't seen him in the newspapers lately, and the word around town is that he's missing.
Yeah. He really does it really well. He keeps it calm. He keeps it collected. He still sounds confident, and that really ticks off all the boxes for me.
Well, this is the best one for me. I mean, I think this is the strongest voice for the character with Kevin M. Connolly. I mean, certainly delivers on all fronts as far as just strong performance, strong delivery, and again, one of the first characters he got to voice. So really, really amazing work by him in this production.
Yeah, he did a really good job. The Funimation, even though Funimation didn't follow the original Japanese to a T, they still were able to bring out the best out of all of these characters, including Kevin M. Connolly.
If we hit it from this altitude, the water would be like concrete. Now hang on tight, Kazuha. I won't let you die here. You got one shot. We're not gonna die! Not here and not today!
Yeah. One of the best scenes for Harley Hartwell in the movies.
Yeah.
I just gotta say
completely.
that. Yeah. Plus, he does a good job with character. He does tick off most of the boxes, like strong, charismatic, and for a new dub for Conan, and without having the original dub like out of the question, and not having the cast back, to have him is, I guess, one of the best outcomes that could have happened, because the old cast weren't able to come back. So to have him in their stead is not that bad. You can feel it's Charlie Hartwell for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and for the record, they could have gotten Kevin M. Connolly, but I mean, because obviously, he's in movie 23, so
Yeah.
but yeah, but I mean, Lucian Dodge, all obviously my opinion aside, I would have loved to have seen Kevin M. Connolly come back to Harley Hartwell.
Yeah.
Hattori Heiji in any sense. I do think Lucian Dodge has a solid version of the character. I don't want to be unfair to him in any point, but yeah, he's solid. Seeing movie 21, Crimson Love Letter, he did a fantastic job in that film, and obviously he'll most likely be the voice going forward. So would love to see in future projects what he brings to the character for sure.
Yeah, to have him for the foreseeable future of Conan is still a really good choice for me.
If we jump from here, hitting the water will be like landing on concrete. Hang on tight, Kazuha! If you let go of me, I'll kill you. There's no way in hell they're gonna die here!
I don't know, like he for FanDub, he does a fantastic job.
Yeah, a lot of emotion for the scene, a
Yes.
solid delivery. Ty
And,
Coker,
yeah.
bravo.
Yeah, even a hint of country accent, because to show the difference between the dialects is a really good touch.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's done a really good job. I mean, to have just the original the original dub, the original version, and the dub of Funimation as their basis, and to come this far is really good.
Yeah, no doubt. Ty Coker, fantastic delivery on an action scene, no less too.
I know. He does it. He gets every subtle detail, even in his voice fluctuation, so well in the scene that it just gives me chills whenever I see it.
And so, how'd it go? About the old guy who knew Hondo Aisuki as a kid. You must have met his grandson, right?
Yeah.
Come on, can't you spare the details? I'm kind of interested in this.
Yeah, if I'm not wrong, he's been around for from the beginning, right? Admiral,
pretty close to the beginning, yeah.
Yeah.
Doing this character, so yeah, he's he's fantastic.
Yeah.
He had done several voices for us in his time, and really, I would love to do more Harley Hattori. Well, I mean, we call him Harley in our dub. In the future, just to get to feature his voice more. I think he does a fantastic job. I really do. Especially in this one scene, he really sells the character for me. And we were kind of trying to go for kind of like that Kevin M. Connolly feel to the character, because of how much that work is appreciated, not just by me but by a lot of people. And that's kind of what we were shooting for, is more of that Kevin M. Connolly sound for the character.
Yeah. I feel like he comes close to the voice of Kevin M. Connolly's version of Heiji Harley Hartwell. He comes close. It's really good. It's good for the episode. You can hear him just talking with Conan, like he's free with the character. Like he knows what he's doing when he voices Harley Hartwell.
Yeah, would love to see him in more, and who knows, maybe down the road we do a little bit more that has Harley.
Yeah. Such a different, like he plays two different characters, yet he brings two different like auras with those characters.
This really sets the stage for Jerry Jewell.
Yes.
For me. Oh my god.
Jerry Jewell.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Now, on with the show.
By the way, that is not an easy line to deliver that way.
Yes.
That is such an easy line to screw up because you're talking to what? Necessarily. I mean, that he is my favorite for Kaito, Phantom Thief, whatever you want to call him. If you weren't sold on the character, this line sells me, at least, and sold me on the idea, even more than what I saw in the TV series. I mean, he's my favorite Kaito Kid voice, period, of any voices.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a strong delivery.
Yeah, for like having just the original dub as the original version as a reference to do so well and to bring out so much of the character in just this one line is really shows his talents.
I am Kid the Phantom Thief. Do you really expect me to stay quiet after all of that?
Yeah. He does a good job too. I mean,
Griffin
for
Burns, yeah.
Griffin Burns does a good job. I wouldn't say he tries to emulate the Funimation dub, but he does have a bit of similarities in terms of tone. But the delivery of Funimation is so fantastic. And Griffin Burns does a really good job as someone, like, after you come from a strong performance from Funimation, you have a huge expectation. Fans have a huge expectation of how Kaito Kid should sound. And Griffin Burns does live up to people's expectations, for sure.
Well, in movie 19, I mean, he did his best work as Kaito Kid. I mean, that was where he stood. His performance in movie 19 is what stood out to me. And delivery, how he approached the character, had some really good action scenes. I think even a little bit more than what we saw in 23.
Yeah.
But I was really sold on him in 19. I think the character is in good hands going forward with Griffin.
For sure. He's able to do both Shinichi and Kaito Kid really well. That he is a literal no-brainer choice for Shinichi Kudo, both by TMS and Bangzoom's decision. I mean,
It would have been interesting to hear the Singapore version, how they would have approached Kaito Kid and how they would have approached that character. I know it's a what-if scenario, but I would be very interested to hear how they would approach that character and what they would do. I'm sure Joe would voice Kaito Kid as they have basically for every other dub, where Shinichi voices, and then Kaito's voiced by the same person who does Shinichi. So it would have been interesting to hear their take on it as well. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Well, I'm only here to accept the challenge the police gave me. So now that this is over, I'll be taking my leave here. Hey, what the? It's not opening.
Yeah, he does a good job too. He, for FanDub to have such a talented voice for Shinichi, who can do as Dylan to do Shinichi and Kaito Kid so well, and differentiate the characters too, to such an extent that you can literally feel that these are different characters, is really cool. Like, Dylan's doing an amazing job with Kaito Kid and Shinichi for sure.
Yeah, and the fact that he's approaching both of them the same way that it's traditionally the character's been approached.
Yeah.
Kudos to him, and Dylan's been doing really good voice work for a long time, and definitely would not want to discount what he brings to Kaito Kid, because it's a fantastic performance, especially for the things that they're trying to go for right now in this particular version. Does a fantastic job.
Yeah.
こいつはな、個人用移動ロケットだ。完成すれば交通渋滞は解消され、わしは大金持ちになれる。なんだこりゃ。おんだな。
Yeah.
The original Agasa.
Yeah. I mean,
Yep.
after listening to Funimation for a long time, listening to Agasa did sound a bit off in the start, but he's grown on me.
Yeah.
This here's a person rocket pack. When I perfect it, traffic jams will be a thing of the past and I'll be rich, incredibly wealthy.
Yeah, so
I think that's Chuck Powers. I think.
really,
I think that's Chuck Powers. And I really like this version of Agasa. It's pretty up there for me because of that goofy side and that kind of goofy approach to the character, but kind of not
Yeah.
overly over the top.
That's
I
true.
really like this version a lot for
Yeah.
Dr. Agasa.
The Japanese is a bit over the top, and this one does seem a bit, less than the Japanese. But in terms of accuracy to the voice, I wouldn't say it's exactly the same. But being the first dub, and having such a small cast too, they have done a really good job with this.
Yeah, now, like I say, I think it's between who it is between it's like Chuck Powers and Brian Zimmerman. I will get confirmation on that,
Yeah,
just so
sure.
you have it.
The rocket pack for the everyday civilian is so easy to pilot, it will revolutionize transportation. No more traffic jams! Okay, here we go now. Still need some.
I wonder why they wanted to go for an accent for Agasa. It works so well, though.
It does. It works really well, and Bill Flynn, I mean, delivers a fantastic performance as Dr. Agasa.
Yeah.
That's the version a lot of us grew up on here in the States, and I mean, he just the perfect voice for Agasa. I really wish that somehow TMS could have brought him back.
Yeah.
For their production or for Bangzoom. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Japan wouldn't have agreed to a voice so different from the original Japanese when they wanted to stick. He's so fun, but I don't know if Japan would really want to have a voice as different as the Funimations. But it's close to my heart for sure. That's literally my favorite Agasa of all time.
Once I finish perfecting this baby, traffic jams and the like will finally be a thing of the past. And not to mention, I'll be a millionaire. What are you talking about? I consider safety first with every last thing I make. This incident was a fluke. Shuichi!
He doesn't sound as over the top as the original Japanese, but what do you think?
Sounds like Dan Green and Yu-Gi-Oh! To me. I'm waiting for Dr. Agasa to summon the Dark Magician or something out of nowhere. I don't know. I think I would like this version from Michael a little bit more had I not heard Bill Flynn first. And, I mean, like you say, I really enjoy, I think it was Chuck Powers who did Dr. Agasa originally in English. Of the three, unfortunately he'd be at my bottom, but he doesn't necessarily do a bad job.
That's true.
He does a solid job. I've just been influenced by hearing, two different versions and liking those a little bit more. I like him better than I think the Japanese voice, for sure, a little bit more. And I think he does a great job. I just I need a little more time with his character and to kind of get used to it. And he sounds so much like Dan Green in the dub. It's like like I said, I'm waiting for the Dark Magician to get summoned, and I don't know.
After perfecting it, this will eliminate all traffic jams and car accidents. I'll revolutionize the world with this device, and I'll be rich! Who do you think you're talking to? Everything I've created is based on the principle of safety first. This was just an accident. Shuichi!
Professor!
Yeah, they've tried to go the Funimation route, which is good for the English dub.
Well, for this, I think there's several callbacks in this particular production from Infinity to that original, that Funimation dub. So, having somebody that sounds like Agasa from that dub, I think was a good choice. And Machine Meat does a really nice job with the character. There's no doubt about it.
But he got that transfusion when he was a child, right? He may have just misunderstood the situation.
Yeah, I feel like a deeper voice for Agasa does match him a bit more.
Yeah, Josh G. Obviously doing Agasa for us, and in many forms, obviously, takes over as the character in part 2 of 129, and really hasn't looked back, voicing the character through the whole Clash arc and hopefully any future projects. Love his delivery on the character. We went for something different from anything really across the board, and he delivers. And that's really kind of what we're looking for, is somebody to make the character their own and make their own rules. We're not looking to match somebody from the past or anything necessarily. We just want people to kind of take characters and make them their own and make them authentic.
Yeah, I feel like it's not important to emulate the voice of the character as long as you get the character and their personality right. As long as you get that correct, I believe it's as good as being accurate to the voice.
Yeah, and just making it your own. I think if you're trying so hard to be like somebody else in production, you really miss out on adding your own flavor to that character, as long as it's in the confines and being true to what the character actually is, but you're making it your own. I say that go for it. It makes for better original content.
Yeah.
でもこの頃私は誰なんだろうって思う。私は誰で、私の居場所はどこにあるんだろうって。私には席がないのよ。
That's really good. The Japanese voice is really good for Haibara. She really knows what she's doing.
Well, and you can see people are really, trying to emulate that, I think, in most versions, just because of that tone. That tone fits the character so well that you really want to follow that up with somebody who has that same tone. Because if you don't hit that tone of somebody who's really down, about 90% of the time they're on screen and you see them, it definitely takes away from the authenticity of the character.
Yeah.
Lately, I've wondered what kind of person this situation has made me. I don't feel like I know who I am or even where I'm supposed to belong anymore. I have no place to call my home.
Man.
That is just God. I miss her voice. She was so good.
Yeah. She should have at least had a few episodes, to be honest.
Oh my God! Could you imagine 129 with her? Oh man.
Yeah. At least like
so well. She fit the character so well. Oh.
Should have just gone a bit more, and we would have gotten such a good scene.
Yeah, for the whole special, that would have been interesting. Now, it would have been interesting to see if Funimation had approached it. Would they have split it up into episodes like they had done with longer episodes, like episode 100?
Yeah.
Would it have been split up, or would they have actually done the entire special? They could have literally sold that as its own film in so many ways too.
Yeah, we just got like 2 movies with her, and in those 2 movies, she did such a good job.
For the scenes that she had. Especially Countdown to Heaven.
Oh, so good.
Kudo, please.
You can hear her emotion a lot in this. Erica is doing a really good job with the current dub of with Bangzoom.
I think so too, and she handles the kid scenes really well, and lighthearted moments and all that. She does really, really well there too. So Erica Mendez does a fantastic job. There's no question. I don't want to take anything away from her in that regard.
Yeah, she's able to go all the way to whatever scene you give her. She's doing such a good job with it.
My name is not Haibara. Sherry. At least that's my code name. Well, Are you surprised? Shinichi Kudo.
Yeah. She does a good job. Like, it's really menacing. She's able to get it. And if and she's also done like other clips where she's really, the Haibara that we hear in like 90% of the series. She really does that well too.
Yeah, she's fantastic. Matches that tone of the character. Really delivers on that fan dub side for what you're looking for
Yeah.
in an audition for the character too. As
sure.
far as that low tone delivery, menacing, she's got it.
Yeah.
They gather intelligence in support of the policies of the United States, the intelligence service that carries out foreign activities under the direct control of the president.
By that you mean...
The CIA.
Yeah, she has the voice down like really well. She's able to like capture Ai's voice really well.
Yeah, we don't see her a whole lot in these episodes that, in particular, but Hannah, bringing her on relatively recently to take over the role, and I mean, I couldn't be happier with her work. Would love to see her in more as Haibara as we move forward, but she's fantastic.
Even like later on, if we get like more scenes, I'm sure she'll do a really amazing job with the character.
Yeah, I think she appears again in 501, I believe. And so we'll get to see her a little bit more later on in the production as well, just what she does. But she does a great job, delivers the lines in a way that really, that we would want and shows a good intimate knowledge of the character.
引っ込めろ。殺がまだうろついてるんだ。こいつを使おう。組織が新開発した毒薬をな。
Yeah, Jin is menacing.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Seriously.
That's something that like everyone has to get down. They need to be menacing.
Yes.
Unless, yeah.
You idiot! The cops is hanging around. Why don't we use this? This is the new poison our company's developed.
Yeah.
I think that's Brian Zimmerman, but I'm not sure. I'll have to find out for sure. But it's in between Chuck Powers and Brian Zimmerman. I'm not sure that Joe Murray did that voice.
Yeah, the voice sounds a bit different from the Japanese. What do you think about it?
I wish that they had went a little bit lower tone. I think that the voice was fine, but I don't think they necessarily went lower enough.
That's true.
On the tone of the character. I would have liked to have seen a little bit lower tone without trying to kind of overdo it a little bit.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I think it's a good start for the character. I think it's completely different from what we hear.
Yeah.
Throughout. Good version of the character. I would have just really focused on maybe a tad bit different line delivery with kind of less overselling and maybe a little deeper, more menacing voice, which is what we hear in the Japanese version, and then with we're about to hear with Troy Baker.
Yeah.
Hold on, we can't afford to leave a bullet trail. Let's use this. The latest gift from our wonderful organization.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of his first voices in anime too. Troy Baker is
That's
a
true.
superstar in the voice industry, and this is one of his very first voices. So, I think my favorite version of Jin, maybe outside of the Japanese version, I think him and the Japanese version are probably a two-way tie for me. But he does an unbelievable job.
Yeah, he did a really good job for the full Funimation one for Jin. He is like so cool, like so menacing, and is able to capture the character really well.
Let's see how this works. These capsules are filled with the organization's newly developed poison.
Yeah. DC Douglas does go a bit lower in tone, and it somehow sounds a bit more menacing to me. And Troy Baker did a really good job for the voice, but something about DC Douglas is a bit more menacing for me.
He's probably one of my favorite voices from the new dub. He's got to be in the top 2 or 3.
For sure.
I'm totally sold on him being Jin, kind of going forward. With the production movie. If you have any doubts about DC Douglas doing this character, all you gotta do is watch episode 1, the DVD remake of episode 1, and then watch Movie 20, which you can get online on Amazon and Google Play digitally. I mean, he does such a good job in these films.
Yeah, I can't wait to see more of him in movie 25. I mean, movie 24.
Why not use this? It's the newest poison developed by the organization.
Infinity Productions has such a good cast. He's able to be menacing. He's able to have a low voice that's calm yet really strong and confident, and it really matches Jin. Like when you listen to it, you can clearly tell that it's Jin.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the production shoot, if if Bangzoom had reached in and went to go get this guy to voice Jin, I would have totally been sold on that too.
Yeah, Jin and Conan, if they had gotten these guys for the official dub, I would have been so happy.
We're searching the organization to see if there may have been anyone that helped her escape. And all the places she could go to have just disappeared. She'll come to us one of these days.
Yeah, this is really good. It sounds a bit closer to the Japanese as well. And the register is also really good. They're able to be menacing and yet still really confident.
Yeah, I gotta love Jake Utter. Really has a diverse voice, and he's also voicing Inspector McGuire now going forward for us. So got a good range on him, and I love this delivery on the character.
Yeah.
Especially just for the episodes that we are working on, where Jin is a very menacing character and somebody that is intimidating. He really does deliver on that.
無駄だ。
でもシュ
お前のドライブテクじゃ追いつけやしない。だが安心しろ。行き先は分かっている。
どこ？
日本だ。
Oh man. Definitely one of the top voices in the Japanese original anime voices for me.
Yeah, no question. I mean, really, when you think about Akai, and this is my favorite, probably, along with Akira for Mori Kogoro, definitely one of my absolute favorite voices in the entire Japanese version. I mean, this is alone worth watching the Japanese version, just hearing iconic voices like this.
Forget it.
But we're so close.
You'll never catch up with her. She's just a better driver. But don't worry. I know where she's headed.
What? Where to?
To Japan.
Yeah, he does a good job. I mean, I wouldn't say it's as good as the Japanese, but he does a really good job. He's able to he gets the character. That's what I would say.
I am so excited to hear Keith Silverstein and hopefully in the Scarlet Bullet. I mean, and his version and his take on the character for the Scarlet Bullet, because this was just one scene. This is probably this is the only scene we really get to see him in. Well, we see him in Darkest Nightmare too, but I mean, where we're gonna get to see a lot of dialogue. It's gonna be. That's going to be interesting.
This must have been like his first or second try with the character, but to hear him after all of these attempts at voicing the character, to hear him like settle in and go all out with the character in movie 24 is gonna be so cool.
It's futile.
But Shu!
Your driving technique isn't good enough to catch up to her. But don't worry. I know where she's headed.
Where?
Japan.
They got the deep voice right.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's half Japanese. So having the voice a bit different does sound a bit off, but maybe that's because all the voices in the dub are American, and that's basically the standard in the animation industry for now. But to have someone with a different voice have a take on Akai Shuichi is really amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, outside of the what they're doing at Bangzoom, really on the FanDub side, any shots that we're taking at Akai are really kind of in the dark shots as the approach to the character.
Yeah, it's such a high bar to hit, and this guy is able to reach it. For that itself is a huge feat for anyone trying to voice Akai, in my opinion.
Yeah, of course.
In other words, it wasn't the boy who made a mistake. It was us, the FBI. We couldn't think of such a method, myself included.
He does a really good delivery on this line.
Yeah,
like
Eric.
yeah, Eric is able to really get this character in this clip, because Shuichi is a guy who will like literally be calm in like any situation, and to have your Dub's version of Akai be as cool and yet still be confident is really a really good choice for the character, in my opinion.
Well, and that's one of the things we talked to Eric about, because Eric's done some voices, for us in the past, and something I tried to stress with him is, approach this one a little different, because he's a really cool, like, he's that cool FBI sniper guy, but he's also really calm and really kind of, in a lot of cases, very, very soft-spoken, but confident. So, just try to, kind of fit that tone, and no question Eric delivers on that, when he voices Akai for us.
For sure. So that's the end of this video. So in terms of voices, I feel like we have come, even though it's been like 25 years since Conan has come out, the voice talents behind the dubs have been really phenomenal. They have stood the test of time, and have really shined through, all the way from the original Singapore dub to like the latest dub that has just come out, that's TMS, and all the fan dubs included. Like to have a fan dub that stands like with the original dubs is the official dubs are really a huge feat.
Yeah, and I think Infinity, obviously putting in a lot of work on their side, and all the episodes and the clips that they've done, really, they have a strong standard. And, with us, we're, we came in and wanted to do a continuation at the beginning of where it left off. And, I think every dub, if you look at these individual dubs, I think that everybody from every production, from Japanese to Singapore dub to the Funimation version to Bangzoom to Infinity to us, I think everybody has a lot to be proud of with their cast. And I think that there is really no shortcomings or disappointments on any of those production sides, just because of the delivery and the work and everything that's gone into it. So everybody that's involved in the series that works on it to any degree that you do, it has a lot to be proud of in the work and the production.
I don't think many many animes have 5 dubs for their character. I mean, maybe some big ones, but not many. So to have 5 dubs for an anime is really a blessing.
Yeah, and I mean, the official work especially is one I want to recognize on my end, from Japanese to Singapore to Funimation. Those are really, and Bangzoom, obviously, with what they're doing now. I mean, those dubs are, have really earned nothing but my respect, and hopefully the respect of the community, just for what they were able to do. And they all have their own, unique story. And then, obviously in the fan community, we just do what we do because we love it. We make no money on it or anything like that. It's all for just the love of the show and wanting to promote it, and wanting to promote what a good series it is, and how much we just enjoy it, and enjoy working on it to whatever degree we can, even if it's not in an official capacity. We have a lot of respect, and I speak for Infinity when I say this too. We have so much respect for those original productions, and really never want to do anything other than justice to the official work.
Maybe next time, if we ever do this, we should get someone from Infinity too, and like we can like watch all these comparisons, because there's still a whole lot of characters that are out there that have many iterations, that many people have painstakingly voiced and brought those characters to life. And these people have done a really good job with bringing these voices to life, like from the original Japanese version, for people to understand around the world.
Yeah, no question about it. And on my end, what I'm going to definitely do is reach out to Joe Murray and get some confirmations on Jin and Agasa, so we can have that to go with this as well. If that's information, like I say, you're looking for as well, I can certainly find out.
Yeah, it's really cool that these official voice actors are still really invested in the series. Like, we have Cameron McConnelly and we have Joe Murray. They're still maybe even fans of the series, even though they voiced it a long time ago.
Yeah, I think it's safe to assume to a degree, for sure. And the fact that Kevin M. Connolly is still involved in the series to some degree. Obviously being in movie 23.
Yeah.
That was super cool. A super cool experience. To just kind of see him again and to get to hear his voice, and it's nice that there have been some characters from that original version that have made an appearance. In the new dub, to whatever degree, even if it's kind of smaller characters here and there. Just being able to see some or hear some familiar voices in the series just kind of come back and voice is really cool. So really hats off to Bangzoom for making that possible. Would still love to hear Kevin M. Connolly do Harley or Hattori Heiji, but at the same point, I know that's not necessarily what do you call a necessarily big option, I would say, at this point. But Kevin M. Connolly, playing Leon Lowe, fantastic in movie 23.
Maybe if they were to have like a Detective Conan panel, maybe we could like get him maybe he could come for like a read or something. Yeah, I
wish we could do something like that with like a Conan panel or a Conan convention. I'd love to do something similar to that. It certainly would be just trying to get everything on the same page, but who knows, maybe someday.
Yeah. Anyway, it was really good talking to you today and like going through the ages of Conan Dub, from like way back all the way till today.
Yeah, no, I loved every minute of it, and like I said, I'll reach out to Joe and see if I can get that information to you relatively quickly, because I know you're wanting to put this together. So just give me a little time, and I should be able to get that information for you so that we can have it in there.
Thanks for joining us today. It was really fun.
Thank you, Joe. I always love talking to you, man, and getting to kind of break down the dubs and talk about where the series is. So, really, seriously, it's been a treat. It really has.
Maybe someday after we see movie 24, we should we definitely will get together and talk about it for sure.
Yes, 100%, absolutely. Hopefully, we get it in some theaters out here in the States at some point. I'd love to just go sit in the theater and watch it.
For sure.
All right, Joe. Take care, man. I'll reach out to you soon with that information, okay?
Yeah.
All right, man. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Talk. Bye.